What's going on, Canes family? Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomont. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. We are advancing to the Cotton Bowl after knocking off Texas A&M 10-3. I'm recording my recap late because I was live for 5+ hours. And for those of y'all who were with me, I appreciate y'all jumping on board. Had some stuff to talk about after the game. Had a couple callers call in. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for supporting our channel and the continued support that you will give us. Once again, we will be here live on December 31st against the Ohio State University. And we'll be ready for that action, boss. So let's jump in on this recap Miami Hurricanes. Oh, before we jump in, I apologize. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell. Leave your comments. Again, once again, I appreciate y'all being here. Whew. Shout out to our sponsor of this show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in criminal defense and family law in the state of Florida, based out of Fort Lauderdale. You can reach her at 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. You can hit her up on Instagram at NAT. That's NAT.guilty. Nat.guilty. She will fight for you. Thank you for being supporter of our show, Natalie, as always, man. Look, I have a bunch of videos to make. This is just a recap. Kind of I'm getting my voice back because I've been sick for the last week or so. But when you're online for 5 hours doing live and talking the entire time, gets a little tiring. Your voice, your vocal cords get tired. Let's see here, folks. 10-3 winners. Not the game we expected. Definitely not the amount of points we expected. But definitely the result we wanted. Miami Hurricanes win 10-3. Mark Fletcher goes 17 carries, 172 yards. That young man put us on his back in so many ways. Running the ball, leadership, blocking, everything that you want in a player. Mark Fletcher, he did that today. And I know I've been previously critical of Mark's speed or lack of speed. He showed one hell of a burst in the second half that we haven't seen probably ever. And my criticism has only been from this point of utilize both guys, him and Pringle, to get that fire, lightning and thunder combination. And if you're going to stretch the ball wide, you have Pringle out there. But Mark Fletcher in that fourth quarter, in that last drive, holy Lord, that 56-yard run he had, carried one of their DBs like 20 yards, ran like an absolute freight train truck. When he was A-gapping it, he was deadly. Pistol formation. It's funny. We didn't run pistol all year until after people really started criticizing Shannon Dawson. It's really interesting. We're running a lot of pistol formation today, a lot of gimmicky plays. Look, Mark Fletcher's performance today was exceptional. The defense, Rueben Bain, absolutely dominant. Played like the player he is. He had some choice words for the Texas A&M Aggies after the game. He doesn't take kindly to disrespect, man. He's been very, clear about that. He is a guy that kind of reminds me like of Michael Jordan. He's going to play his ass off regardless, but you don't need to give that man any extra ammunition, any extra motivation. And A&M did that in the form of Trey Zune. Trey Zune, your captain on the offensive line, the captain of your team, Texas A&M. He is the guy that started running his damn mouth when this deal started, bro. He ran his mouth when this thing started. Right when they announced it, he ran his mouth. And Rueben Bain said he had it on his phone in the post-game press conference. He had it on his phone. It was a message on his phone. He reminded himself every day. This guy takes notes of the things that people say. It's bad enough, he's good enough as it is. But when you give him that extra motivation, that extra oomph to really make him put a beating on your ass, I'm sorry, but you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble. And they did that again. Like Notre Dame did that. And now this dude, Trey Zoon, did that. And he was the victim of 3 sacks and a blocked field goal because that block came right on him. That ball crossed over him. He was blocking Rueben Bain. Rueben Bain jumped up, made the play. Made the play. 3 sacks. 1 block field goal. Miami's defense gets 7 sacks, 5, 4.5 from the defensive line. And you had no worries about the Miami defensive line. You had no worries about Rueben Bain. I mean, hey, it's really interesting that after the game, you don't hear a word from Trey Zoon. He's not interviewed by anybody, or at least that not in the main interviews. I guess you're gonna hide. It's funny. The 2 guys that talked the most, Trey Zoon and Ruben Owens II, both disappeared. Neither guy was there to face the music. See, the one thing I respect about people when they talk their shit is at the end of the game, you show your face. You answer questions. You don't hide. You show your face and you answer questions. But Miami defensively was completely dominant. I didn't like the gimmicky plays. I thought we went gimmick way too early. Shannon Dawson is getting widely criticized, and Shannon Dawson is getting widely criticized, and I mean, deservedly so. I thought that game plan was pretty awful. The wind had a major factor. Like, let's be real. The wind had a major factor in the game, but he didn't take advantage of the things that were being given to the Miami offense for most of the game. In fact, when he ran the ball early with Mark Fletcher, he didn't consistently run the ball. It's like he ran it and then he went to a gimmick play. And every gimmick play failed. Like today, every gimmick trick play until that last one, which I don't really call a trick play, failed. They didn't work. Malachi had a QB throwback. I mean, Carson Beck was wide open, and he went down the field to Elijah Lofton, and that was incomplete. And he threw the ball off his back foot. Look, the wind was rough. The wind was rough, and it hurt both teams. I said what I said about Marcel Reed, and I stood on it. He's inconsistent. He's inaccurate. He makes bad throws. He overthrows people. He did that today. I had no worries about containment of that guy. We don't get run on by mobile quarterbacks. We didn't today. Sacked him 7 times. He got some yards early. He didn't do anything in the second half on his legs. He did nothing with his legs in the second half. Keontae Scott, his return, massive. Two sacks, forced fumble. You got Bryce Fitzgerald, 2 interceptions, an interception to end the game to seal it at the end. Malachi Toney, man, they bottled him up for most of the game, but he had a 55-yard punt return that got us down to about the 20, 22, 23-yard line. Guy nicked his freaking foot, hit his leg. That one sucked because, the offense struggled. But that's where you gotta go to a high knee, bro. That high knee needs to come out because I don't know if he was getting tired running the ball there or if he kind of slowed down. Because I was shocked that he got caught. I mean, it was like that was a nick. I mean, and it made his leg whiplash his other leg. Is really what happened. So people that thought that he tripped over himself, no, the leg got hit. The right leg got hit, and it got hit to where it hit his left leg, and that's why he went down. And then we missed field goals. We missed 3 field goals. The first one I'm not really all that upset about with Carter Davis. People are losing their minds on this guy. I'm not. That wind was crazy. He kicked that first one, I thought, perfectly. I will say this. What happened on that particular possession in that situation was that Carson Beck got sacked on 3rd down and lost like 5 yards. So that field goal turned into a longer field goal. And rather than running the ball, we, I mean, he got sacked. That was one of the 2 sacks. They were blitzing him all game. They blitzed him all game. They only got to him twice in the first half, and that was it. The offensive line, I thought, did a fantastic job. They picked up the blitzers all game long. But that's where I thought Miami could have taken advantage of was the blitzing. Like you could have taken advantage of the blitzing with some crossers, with some short crossing routes. You would take advantage of those blitzes because they were there the whole game. A screen, a screen up the middle, the old school screen, man, the old school screen. You don't have to run every screen as a wide receiver screen. Running backs can run screens too. Tight ends can run screens too. And I think that they need to really look at utilizing that against Ohio State. But today, when you've got all those blitzers coming at you, that's where you really need to hit on those. We went deep twice. One was to Trader, overthrown. One to CJ Daniels, nowhere near it. Don't know if the wind picked up Carson Beck's ball. The first one was thrown pretty on a line, but it was overthrown. Other than that, man, we did a lot of swing passes offensively, a lot of gimmicky plays. I think we had 10 gimmicky plays in the first 40. It was just like, what are we doing? Like you're wildcatting it over and over again. It just was. It didn't. I didn't like it, and I think it bogged our offense down. To be honest, I don't know what y'all think. Y'all leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? How, do you think that those gimmick plays early on bogged our offense down? Because I thought it did. I thought that those gimmick plays early on really bogged us down because they didn't work, and you didn't need them. We were able to run the ball right up the middle with Mark Fletcher the entire time. I mean, he didn't get stopped, I don't think, at all for a loss when you ran the ball up the middle. When they tried to stretch him one time, he got taken down easily. But when you had him running up the middle, he was dynamite. I mean, the blocking by CJ Daniels CJ Daniels had a couple of big blocks on runs. They had some big blocks on runs, man. Receivers, tight ends, they all blocked. It's 0-0 at halftime. I missed a field goal. A&M had one blocked. How many did we miss? 2 field goals in the first half or one? Because I think we missed 2 in the first half. Yeah, we missed back-to-back field goals in the first half. Yeah, that field goal that we missed, that one before the half pissed me off. It's a 40-yarder, and Carter Davis did not kick it to the close upright. Like in a situation where your wind's going like this, the first one he kicked it actually well, and it got there, and then the wind, there was a gust that just came and took it. So that one I didn't blame him, but had they not taken that sack and run the ball the play before, then probably you make that kick. But the next one, he's on the same spot, but it's 40 yards, and he just airmails it way right. Like that ball has got to go to this post, and the wind's going to take it. Like you have to do that. And I don't know if they didn't get work in before the game. It'll interesting because I'm not totally upset with the guy because it was windy. It's a messy day. And then he does hit his 30. He does hit that chip shot to start the third quarter from 21 yards. That was a chippy. Glad you're knocking. That's an extra point. And then Miami has a pick by Bryce Fitzgerald, gets the ball in position again at the A&M, at the A&M 20, and we don't go anywhere. Like Carson Beck had a run, and instead of diving forward, he slid on his butt. Like he could have had a 5-yard gain if he just dove forward. Like they can't hit him regardless. He's diving onto the ground. Like he's the quarterback. They're gonna protect the quarterbacks. But he slides on his butt, and then he only gets 2 yards. Then the next play they finally put in Gerard Pringle, and he gets 1 yard, and they're running him in between the tackles. I'm like, you brought Pringle in to run the ball in between the tackles, then third down, no huddle, incomplete pass to Malachi Tony. Broken. That was like a slant that they ran to Tony. I mean, I thought that was lucky that it got knocked down because I thought that ball could have been intercepted potentially. But then Davis has a 35-yard field goal from the same spot, the same hash, and he clanks the fucking upright. And again, it was like, dude, you're not. What are you doing? Like, are you not like dropping a piece of grass and looking at where this thing is flying? So that was where that one, those to the 40 and the 35 bugged me. The 46 didn't bug me really. But again, you're in a game like this and you can't afford to have these blown opportunities. Miami could have been up 9-0, 12-0. I mean, legitimately could have been up 12-0 with the field goals. And they weren't. Now, the defense again was fantastic. They finally did score a field goal to make it 3-3. They had shut Texas A&M. Texas A&M has not been shut out on its home field since 1971. 54 years since A&M has been shut out at Kyle Field or on his home field. And that was the lowest scoring game that A&M has had on his home field in 24 years. They scored 3 points 24 years ago against Virginia Tech. So it's been a long ass time since A&M's offense at home has been shut down like that. Incredible job by the defense. Incredible. Now, Miami gets the ball back, and we run the ball with Fletcher right up the middle for 16, and we're moving, and then we throw that crosser to Malachi, and he catches it, and he's got about 9 yards, but he doesn't secure the ball, and he loses it. And you're like, oh, boy, with about 7-11 to go, and I know a lot of people probably felt like, oh, we're in trouble. But I honestly, it sucked, but I wasn't of that mindset that, oh, we're in trouble. I'm like, just make a stop. We've been making stops all game. I mean, that's literally what we've done all game. We've made stops. Our defense, yeah, they gave up a drive right before that for a field goal. So what, man? That's a drive. Neither of these offenses were consistent. You know, Marcel Reed was not consistent throwing the football. So I'm like, make a stop. But yeah, at the moment, you're like, this sucks. But especially because we were moving the ball. Because we're at the 50 right there, and I think we would have gashed them right down the field had we had not turned the ball over. I thought we would have gone really into Mark Fletcher up the middle a lot right there had we not turned the ball over. That said, we forced a punt. 5 plays, they got an 11-yard, they got no gain, then they got an 11-yard pass, and then we sacked them. Rueben Bain got his, third sack of the game, and they got a 5-yard run, and then another sack, this time by Rueben Bain again. That was his second and third sack. So he got his second and his third sacks of the game on the second to last possession for Texas A&M. And that got that forced a punt. Malachi Tony caught it, returned it about 10 yards, and we get the ball at our own 14-yard line. And the first play off of scrimmage, Mark Fletcher goes for 56 yards. And now you feel it, and he goes for 2, then he goes for 12, then he goes for 3, then 2. And then we're at the we're inside the 11-yard line, and they run that. And if you watched my live, I said this is now where I would run that end around, because this is now where you've got them reeling because they're expecting you to pound it with Fletcher. This is where you're going to run that end around and catch them off balance. And we did. And that was the first one where I thought it was a good play in the flow of the offense. That I thought was the good play. I mean, he ran a bunch of them. I really wasn't too much of a fan of it. Again, I don't have a problem with the gimmicky stuff. I didn't like when he did it. He did it a lot way too early. That being Dawson. Now there are some people said Malachi Tony should have taken a fucking knee at the 1. No. Because they had no timeouts left, and because they had no timeouts, you could have literally run the clock down to nothing and kicked the field goal to win the game and win 6-3. You do not do that there. You ask any coach, there's some people that really think that. Not there. No. Not with the way the wind was whipping, not with the way, I mean, yeah, you could say it's a 20-yard kick. It would have been like an 18-yard kick. But you can't mess around with that. You punch the ball into the end zone, you score. And I mean, I don't think any Hurricane fan truly had any nerves about stopping them. Like I expected to stop them. Now, did I expect them to go 10 plays, 70 yards, and get down to the 5 yard line? Absolutely not. I did think Miami would stop them. Now, I will say the way the drive started was not good. You know, you had that 5 yard play, but that got out of bounds. I thought the guy was knocked down inbounds. If he's inbounds, your clock is running. But because he gets out of bounds, they got out of bounds a couple of times, and um, they got that 15-yard penalty that I thought was a horrendous call on Armando Blunt that gave them a first down inside our 50-yard line. I mean, we're playing this physical game of football, and he bumps into Marcel Reed and Marcel Reed flops like LeBron James or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, either one, and that was disgusting. That call was disgusting. Like seriously, that was a horrible call. And I've watched other podcasts, and no one thinks that was a good call. So that one was awful to me. But they get that ball down to the 5 yard line, and I got to be real with you, man. When they got that ball to the 5 on that pass to Concepcion for 14 yards, I'll tell you this. I said on my on the live, I said, "Yo, watch for Marcel Reed running a freaking QB draw." I would have run the QB draw 4 straight times. I would have QB drawed. I would run a QB draw 4 times in a row. There's no way in the world I was letting Marcel Reed throw that football. Marcel Reed is inaccurate, people. He's inaccurate. Even on that final drive, he had madly inaccurate passes. Now, there was a great, great play by Mo Toure dislodging the pass from Rueben Owens in the end zone. Some people were crying about a helmet to helmet. Shut up. Mo Toure's helmet was on the opposite side of Rueben Owens' helmet. Mo Toure's helmet hit his ear hole against Rueben Owens' helmet. Mo Toure is the one that got knocked out because he's the one that got ear holed. He didn't spear him. That was a beautiful hit. And I'm glad they didn't look at that shit because that would have been disgraceful. That was nothing to look at. And you know they look at everything nowadays. So the fact that they didn't look at it told you that they knew the deal real fast. They looked at it like, no, that's nothing. But instead of running a bunch of QB draws, the first pass to Craver's back of the end zone, Craver's foot is out of bounds. It was, clear. And, clearly out of bounds. That second down play was the one Rueben Owens. And that third down play, Bryce Fitzgerald makes a pick. And Marcel Reed threw the ball late. It was a tough window. But Fitzgerald makes a play, man. You got to make plays. Again, I would have been running a QB draw because I don't trust Marcel Reed to make the good throw. I mean, that's just me. I watched this guy on film. He completed 25 of 39. He was 64%. He's typically 62%. Carson Beck was 14 of 20. He only had 103 yards passing, but a touchdown. That was a touchdown to Malachi. But he didn't make any mistakes. 14 to 20, that's 70% of your passes completed. He didn't make any mistakes. I thought the offense was way too bland in terms of for him. They needed to let him do some more. Look, they got the W. I'm very, very happy. I'm shocked at some of this. I'm not shocked. Sorry. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. At some of the comments that I've heard from Hurricanes fans on Facebook groups, absolutely crucifying Carson Beck, crucifying Carter Davis, just crucifying these guys. It's like, what are you watching, guys? What are you watching? What was Carson Beck supposed to do? The plays that were called early on, like you're not going to get in a rhythm if that's what's being called. So I got no problem with Carson Beck and what he did. I thought he played fine. That drive to start the third quarter was a strong drive. But again, I thought the play calling was very, very inconsistent. Offensively. Defensively, they were incredible. Rueben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, Keontae Scott. What a return from that dude. And there's some concerns about some injuries, potential concussion protocol stuff. Mo Toure could be in concussion protocol. I'm going to tell you right now, these guys will play. They're going to play Ohio State. They will not be in concussion protocol. Jacoby Thomas in the locker room was partying it up. That dude will be fine. He will play against Ohio State. Bryce Fitzgerald has 2 interceptions. Like, you held this team. Oh, by the way, the running attack from Ruben Owens, invisible, 21 yards rushing. Marcel Reed's their leading rusher with 27 yards rushing, 15 carries, 27 yards, complete shutdown. It really irritated me when I was hearing people run their mouths about the mobility of Marcel Reed. I will say early on he had some success, but that was basically the first drive, and after that he didn't do much of anything on the ground. And that was we had a spy, and we missed tackles. We started tackling exceptionally well as the game progressed. Our tackling was really, really strong. I thought the tackling from both teams was really, really good overall. But Miami hit A&M where it hurts, the running game. Miami's offensive line picked up those blitzers all game long. Those blitzers, I mean, once they picked up the blitz, Mark Fletcher was through the holes, bro. And Mr. Cassius Howell was invisible, no sacks, had 1 tackle. He was invisible today. I'm sorry, he had 2 tackles. 2 tackles. Invisible. I thought we could have screened more. I thought we, in the middle to use their pressure, their aggressiveness against them, but we didn't. Tony had that big punt return. I mean, look, end of the day, they made more mistakes than we did. The 2 picks, the fumble, the blocked field goal. Marcel Reed has thrown 2 picks again. He threw 2 picks again. He's thrown 8 picks in his last 4 games, I believe it was. And all they could talk about was Carson Beck. Carson Beck. Let me see here specifically. Yeah, 6 picks in his last 4 games, 8 picks in his last 6 games. He had 2-0-2-0-2-2. Today he was sacked more than he even sacked all season. The prior high was 4 against Auburn. That was his prior high in sacks. Today we broke that by 3. His second lowest quarterback rating number of the year. His worst one was versus Texas. Let me see, that was his third lowest, second lowest QBR this year. His lowest one had been against Auburn. But man, we were fantastic defensively, people. And now we get to go play Ohio State, man. Now we get to play Ohio State. I can't wait. December 31st, 7:30 p.m., New Year's Eve. Let's make their New Year's the same way Georgia did a few years back when they beat Ohio State, as the ball dropped when their field goal kicker choked that field goal away. I was in Columbus when that happened. That was so beautiful. Hate Ohio State. But yeah, let's see what happens. We're a double-digit underdog. I am flabbergasted by that. Opened up as a 11.5-point dog on some books. Right now on ESPN, they have us as a 9.5-point underdog. I cannot believe that the spread's that big. The money line is plus 320 to minus 410. I mean, they are insulting us. It is crazy how much they're insulting us with this. And they're going to say, "Oh, well, your offense didn't look good against Texas A&M." We were on the road. Did the game go as I expected? No. But we were elite on defense again. I told you, if we play the defense that we played versus Pittsburgh, we're gonna dominate defensively. A lot of the things that I said that would happen happened. Marcel Reed would throw picks. He did. He's inaccurate. He was. We would shut down his running game. We did. We would shut their running game down. We did. Like everything that defensively, we did. Now, offensively, I expected more. But, we didn't get it, but we got the W. At the end of the day, all that matters is you get a win, man. I don't care. And now we got 23 years ago, we played this motherfucking Ohio State team. And we owe them something, man. These boys better watch that film and remember what this is. This is more than a game, man. This is more than their playoffs. This is a personal program thing. The over under is really low. It's only 42 and a half. So they're expecting it's like they expect them to be just 30 to 10, though. I mean, you have a 9.5 point number and you have it as a 42.5 point. I mean, that's wild to me. Acting like Ohio State didn't have a 13-10 game against Indiana, acting like Ohio State didn't score only 24 points against Washington and 14 against Texas and 27 against Michigan. I mean, they weren't blowing the scoreboard off the building. I mean, yeah, they had some blowouts. Great. They were in a 17-14 game with Penn State at halftime. I'm shocked that it's this much of a spread. I really, really am. A little disappointed that it's on New Year's Eve. I would have loved to have gone out and hung out on New Year's Eve, but you know what? Hey, I will be here. I will be bringing it live to you folks. My kids won't be here, unfortunately. They'll be in Seattle, so hopefully they'll be watching the game. I'm sure up there. But let's go into the new year with a bang and get a W over Ohio State. But man, I gotta salute these dudes. You balled out, young men. You balled out, and man, just fabulous defensively. All the talkers, those two mouthers, they got nothing to say. They ain't there no more. I wonder if Ohio State will who from Ohio State is going to say some shit about Rueben Bain now? Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Please tell us that Rueben Bain, tell us something about Rueben Bain. I want you to. I really, really want you to. Because the more they do that, the better that guy plays, man. I mean, that dude, when it's crazy. It is crazy to see how that guy plays when you talk shit about him. That's crazy, man. But yo, I love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments. It's Hurricanes Unfiltered, baby. It's all about that you. Power by Come On Now, the podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Appreciate y'all as always. Come on now.